Welcome to That's Crap Detection. I'm your host, Dean Betterman. Today, we're honored to be joined by, say it right, Ramona Merharg.
Ramona Merharg, yeah.
All right, not too bad. Okay. And then we're just here to talk a little bit about media literacy and especially fact checking. So, how are you today, Ramona?
I'm great, Dean.
Awesome. Well, I thank you again for joining. And so, what do you teach, and what's your specialty?
So I am in sort of a smaller town in Ontario. I teach in a high school in St. Thomas. I'm a special education teacher, and I'm the department head. So in the morning, I teach 2 classes of a congregated spec ed class where I work with students with really high needs with autism, Down syndrome, global developmental delay, that kind of thing. And then in the afternoon, I'm working in the resource room with students who are taking, regular high school courses and just need a little extra help, whether we're using technology to help them or whether they just need a little help getting through the work.
Awesome. That's I have a lot of admiration and respect for you. That's you're doing some amazing work there for sure. And you're also in charge of a podcast. Do you want to share with that a little bit?
I do, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I am the host of I Wish I Knew EDU, and it's a podcast that runs on Voice Ed Radio, and I try and release about once a week. And I just love talking to teachers wherever they are about what they're doing and about what they wish they knew when they started teaching and kind of what they're into and the opportunities that have presented themselves to them over their career.
Well, that's amazing. I know from listening to your podcast and recently being on it and doing a little podcasting myself, just these conversations that you're having, with people and teachers and passionate people are really inspiring. So thanks for all the work that you do.
Well, thank you. It's the best PD for me that I've ever had. So I'm selfish, kind of selfish because I get probably more out of it than my guests do, but I sure love talking to them.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that for sure. So in this episode, I just was going to ask you a few things about media literacy and be more a little specific into fact checking. So my first question for you is that, can you tell me when maybe a student or you encountered fake news and kind of how do you use it in your class? Did you use it as a teachable moment or do you have any moments like that?
I know when Trump was first running for president, that's, I think, when we first started seeing it come to the classroom. I was teaching full-time congregated spec ed then. So I had kids who were pretty media savvy, just, need a lot of help with their work. And they would come in and talk about Trump and his fake news, and this is fake news and that's fake news. And it really, it got us some really great conversations in that group of kids about what does that mean? And when he says fake news, is that really true? Like, can we go online and find out whether that is actually a fact or whether it is not true? So it was really interesting to have the kids come and say, oh, that's fake news. Well, let's discuss what is fake news. And do you understand what that term means?
Awesome. That actually leads perfectly into the next question. So how did you fact check? Is there a plan of action that you had, or was there resources that you sent kids to be able to do the fact checking?
I wouldn't say there was maybe a go-to. I mean, we would get online, and I know we had done some work through, we like to use like Media Smarts. So I had, done some of the lesson plans that they have there. And we had talked to the kids about, well, look at the URL. If it's, if it's got as like an EDU URL, then that's probably a good place to get your information from. But if it's a .com, then maybe it's not such a great place to get your information from. And don't just trust one source. Let's look at a few different places and see. I remember I think it was a rapper, and they had announced on maybe Facebook, I think, that he was dead. And I said to the kids, he's not dead. He was on TV last night saying he's not dead. So if that comes up in your feed that someone has died or there's some fact there, how can you check that? And I had the kids go in to different sources. Where would you look, and where would you think are the best places to look? And the kids were really good at finding out the best places to check for facts. And I was amazed when they started to go, oh, that's an EDU. We can trust that one.
Right. Cool. Well, it's like the X-Files, right? The truth is out there.
The truth is out there.
So I know we want to get students to be critical thinkers, but how do you find that balance between getting them to questioning things, but not being too cynical or thinking there's nothing on the internet, for example, that is truthful?
Well, it's interesting because I work with kids with special needs. A lot of them are very trusting and perhaps too trusting. And so that's something something that we do work on with them. Even which like not necessarily always fact checking, but just when they're on social media, like that person that you see on Facebook, that could be, a fake account, and to get them to be a little more savvy and to be safer about what they're posting and who they're showing, where they live and where they're going, because that could be a real problem.
Yeah. Kind of, then I guess kind of a bonus question. So what role do you think schools have in helping students become more media savvy?
I think we have a big role to play, and I know that our board has lots of online resources on our Thames Valley District School Board website for parents as well as students. But I think if we count on students to learn that themselves, then they're not going to go there. I mean, we talked about fake news. If we don't get them to question some of these sources or question some of these stories, they probably won't. They'll take it as fact. And so I think it is important for us to teach them not only about fake news, but how to be safe online.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Something about fake news or fact checking or even digital citizenship that you feel like sharing?
Well, I'm going to give a little shout out to my friend in Toronto, Jennifer Cassatot. I would highly recommend reading Social Media. He's going to get it out. Great book. Yeah. And I love Jennifer. She's wonderful. It shows you what I love about it is it's not just a cautionary tale. It's also about all the great things kids can do because they're online, and all, not just entrepreneurs, but the connections that they can make that will be powerful for them. So that's what I love about that book. So if you really are interested in getting kids involved online, being safe, being savvy, but also taking it beyond that, then I think that's the book for you.
Definitely. And is it her Global Ed Chat? Is it Global Ed Chat?
Global Ed Chat. And she has a podcast too.
Yeah. So definitely, I couldn't agree with Maury. That's a great share and a great resource for sure.
And if you're in the Toronto area in April, they have the DigSit Summit coming up. So I'm going to give a plug for that too. And that's going to be in Toronto in April.
It's funny you said that, because when I saw it on Twitter, I actually tweeted to our prof and said, can we go on a class field trip to Toronto? I got a lot of likes from the people in my class on that one. So yeah, I'd really like to go to that too. No,
it's a DigSit Summit. Maybe we can set you up on Skype or something.
Yeah, well, I'd be in for sure. I'd definitely like to be a part of that. But thanks a lot, Ramona, for your time, and you're just, the way you present things is just really straightforward and makes a lot of sense. And I like your perspective based on your classroom experience, and also, using your podcasting experience as well. Thanks a lot for being part of my project.
Oh, it was an honor, Dean. Thanks for including me.
Awesome. Well, hopefully get to chat again sometimes.
I hope so too. And if I'm out in Regina, I'm looking you up.
For sure. Yeah, guaranteed. Hopefully there's a rider game going on. We can pick one of those.
Will do.
Thanks for your time, and have a great day.
You as well.
Thanks.